Do you oppose or support building additional fencing along the US-Mexico border? Trump reaches limit to deport millions of illegal immigrants in historic crackdown. Every man has his limit, and President Trump just reached his with the crisis at our southern border. It is a sad day indeed in the swamp when Guatemala is doing more to help stem the tide of illegal immigrants than the D3 Democrats. But it is so. Mexico too is doing more than Pelosi and her gang of political wise guys. Solving the crisis is a win for Trump, and the left cannot allow that. The GOP did the same to Obama, but two wrongs do make a right. Look, if we can't solve simple problems we all agree on, like the southern border crisis, what chance do we have with the hard problems? Loading. From CBS, President Trump says millions of people living in the country illegally will be deported, beginning next week. In a pair of tweets Monday night, the eve of formally announcing his re-election bid, Mr. Trump said U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement would next week begin the process of removing the millions of illegal aliens who have illicitly found their way into the United States. They will be removed as fast as they come in, he wrote. An administration official told the Associated Press the effort would focus on the more than 1 million people who have been issued final deportation orders by federal judges but remain at large in the country. The official spoke on condition of anonymity to explain the president's tweets. The largest number of people deported by ICE was 409,824 in 2012. It is unusual for law enforcement agencies to announce raids before they take place. ICE rarely announces operations in advance, especially large-scale ones like the one Mr. Trump addressed. The Washington Post reported in May that before the ouster of then Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, the White House pushed DHS, which oversees ICE, to conduct a sprawling operation targeting undocumented immigrants in major cities. That operation would have entailed the arrest of as many as 10,000 immigrants, not millions. Any such massive deportation blitz would affect not only undocumented immigrants with pending removal orders, but millions of mixed-status families with members who are U.S. citizens, particularly children. Some in Mr. Trump's administration believe decisive shows of force such as mass arrests can serve as effective deterrents, sending a message to those considering making the journey to the U.S. that it's not worth the effort. Mr. Trump has threatened a series of increasingly drastic actions as he has tried to stem the flow of Central American migrants crossing the southern border, a flow that has risen dramatically on his watch. He recently dropped a threat to slap tariffs on Mexico after the country agreed to dispatch its National Guard and step up coordination and enforcement efforts. A senior Mexican official said Monday that, 3 weeks ago, about 4,200 migrants were arriving at the U.S. border daily and that the number has dropped to about 2,600. Also on Monday, the U.S. government officially announced it would cut millions of dollars in foreign aid to Central America, warning governments in the region that assistance will only resume when they do more to prevent their citizens from migrating. From Reuters. There are an estimated 12 million immigrants who are in the United States illegally, mainly from Mexico and Central America. Under a deal reached earlier this month, Mexico has agreed to take Central American immigrants seeking asylum in the United States until their cases are heard in U.S. courts. The agreement, which included Mexico pledging to deploy National Guard troops to stop Central American immigrants from reaching the U.S. border, averted a Trump threat to hit Mexican imports with tariffs. Trump also said in the tweet that Guatemala is getting ready to sign a Safe Third agreement. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence suggested last week that Guatemala could receive asylum seekers from its neighbors as a so-called Safe Third country. Details of the plan have not been made public, and Guatemala has not publicly confirmed talks that the U.S. State Department said were taking place in Guatemala on Friday.